Hello, everybody. I'm back again. So, here we go. David's actually re-downloading Skype, he said. So, I think he'll give me the thumbs up when everything's a go with him. But until the meantime, we will go ahead and call Mr. Lance Mother and get the show underway. That's what I do. What's up, Lance?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, sounding really good on your iPhone X.
Yeah, I'm having trouble getting my other earbuds working, so I'm using the ones that came with it, and I don't like them. They're not comfortable.
No?
Nah, it's because it doesn't have a 3.5 jack anymore. It's the USB.
Right, in the bottom. Yep.
Yeah. But whatever. What's up, brother?
How you doing?
Pretty good.
That's
no
good.
Complaints.
That's good. How's the weather out there on the coast?
Well, it was about 70 today. I mean, it's kind of fluky weather, man.
Hey,
tomorrow, it's supposed to be like 70, and they get back down to 45.
Yeah, we've had some really nice weather here the last couple of days, too. But yesterday, the fog was just all day, wouldn't go away. And today, it was fog and then rain and fog and rain. The fog's finally cleared out.
We don't get fog here because we're not in the mountains.
Yeah, too close to the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the weather's just been off the charts. Nice. 65 today. Yeah, it was. If it wasn't for the rain, it would have been actually beautiful. I probably would have been out on the bike. But
Beautiful weather.
Yeah.
And we bought another boat today, so we're going to go test drive that this weekend. My dad and I.
Oh, okay. I thought there was somebody else in the picture. What'd you do with your little Screamer?
I still got it. The little jet boat.
Yeah.
I still got it. This one's a Boston Whaler, so we can go out fishing in it.
Oh, right on, man. Those things are nice. Center console?
No, it's got a little cuddy cabin.
I see.
21-foot Conquest is what they call it.
That's even better.
Yeah, I thought so. Got full enclosure.
Here comes David.
When you're driving. Dave's here.
Here it comes. There he is. What's up, David?
I had to download my Skype. Something was up with it.
Yeah, shit happens. I had to update mine, actually, before I could log on today, too. So, evidently, you can't make a choice as to whether or not you want to update or not. You just have to update. Mm-hmm. They don't give you a choice anymore. So, the DSA or the NSA can get all their info and stuff.
That's right. What's up, Dave?
What's up, Lance? What's up, Jimmy?
How you going, Dave? You're up to your ass in snow and cold, and I've been watching the posts on Facebook. And
let me tell you about this, man. I've lived here for 52 years now.
No, you have not, dude. You're not 52 years old yet.
I mean 32. I'll take that. Seems like 52. Anyway, 32. And this has to be one of the worst winters I've experienced here. It's one of the top three, at least. I mean, it's insane, dude. We're getting hit with we got 3 feet of snow on the ground right now. We're supposed to get another 1.5 feet by tomorrow afternoon. We've got a full blizzard warning tomorrow. They shut down. I live in I live in West Fargo, which is a pretty big city, about 50,000 people here. They're shutting down the whole town tomorrow. I mean, completely. They're not even letting the plows out. It's so bad.
No kidding.
I mean, that's bad when they're telling everybody, don't you freaking leave your house tomorrow. You'll be arrested on the spot.
Yeah, they don't have the authority to do that, though.
No, but that's what they're saying. Try to keep people off the roads.
Well, I can feel you. Hey, you go look at a couple of the things that are going on up just north of me in Missouri, where they're getting all the ice and shit on 44. It's just like 3 or 4 straight miles of nothing but vehicles in the ditch. So, you just can't. Sometimes you just can't stop stupid people from doing stupid shit. So.
No, I don't know. I understand them trying to keep people safe, and I'm sure if there was a circumstance like you run into the emergency room, you sliced your hand open or something, But
right.
Other than that, they're trying to keep people safe.
Yeah, because if you call for an ambulance, they're not going to let the ambulance come get you, right? So, I'm sorry, you just got to bleed to death today. Sorry.
I mean, I guess it depends on the circumstance.
Right.
Get a shotgun wound to the chest or something, maybe, but other than that, and they have already closed school and everything for tomorrow. They announced, and it's like I said, we're getting hit with these Arctic blasts. We've had 3 of them already, and each one gets colder and colder. Man, it's insanity. I mean, we set a record the other day. We broke a 150-year record for record low. The record low temperature, this was out the wind chill. Our record low got down to 42 below zero the other day. Without the wind. With the wind, it was about 80, 85 below zero.
We experience that every year up in Alaska.
Well, this isn't Alaska.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, it's nothing. It's nothing. I mean, it might be off the charts for y'all, but it's nothing that's not humanly bearable.
It is off the chart for the lower 48. We're breaking records up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's and like I said, with the wind, it was about 80, 85 below. And I mean, if anybody's never experienced that, but I know you have, Jimmy, but if no one's ever experienced that, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. It's horrible.
No, your skin will freeze in minutes. Yeah, if you're out there unprotected, your skin will freeze in minutes.
It's sad, but you sit in your house and you just hear it crack, just croom.
Oh yeah,
your foundation shifting, fucking everything. It's that we thought our house was going to fall in on us.
Yeah, it's scary.
You hear the windows settle, and you don't know if they're just getting ready to fly out of the frames or.
Yep, it's
scary.
Scary.
It was so bad parts up here. There was actually in your poorest sides, where your low cost housing, where they don't have hardly any insulation, while there was toilet bowls that were completely freezing up and cracking and blowing out the pores.
I saw one of those. I think I saw a picture of one. Wow. A guy pulled the whole thing out with a plunger because the plunger was down in the toilet. They were trying to keep it open.
Up here too.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
The coldest it got here was 20 during that freeze that you guys were gotten. I mean, that's the coldest it got here was 20.
Well, the deal is the Arctic blast is one thing, but right after these Arctic blasts now, we're going into this pattern they haven't seen up here since maybe 97, where we're going to be getting storm after storm every other day for the next 2 weeks. Now, we've already got 3 foot of snow on the ground. We're getting ready to get hit with another 1.5 feet. Then an Arctic blast is going to hit us tomorrow and Friday. It's going to be below zero for temperature, for high temperatures and stuff. And then right after that pulls out, then another snowstorm's hitting us Monday night, Tuesday night, and part of Wednesday morning. And then they said these storms are going to continue the way the pattern's set up for the next 2 weeks. I can't imagine. I mean, the most snow we've had up here at one time was in 97. We had 117 inches for that winter, which is a lot of snow for Fargo. I mean, we don't live by the Great Lakes or anything.
That's twice what you got on the ground now. So, I mean, you're not breaking any records in snowfall yet, just temperatures.
No, I think we're fixing ahead there, and that's what the weatherman even said.
Did you see the comment that Saint put in the room?
Yeah, I see that, but it ain't that easy, man. Don't get me going.
And he's already said Saint that he's got to wait till this youngest is out of high school, and then once the youngest is out of high school, him and the wife both want a GTFO. So,
well, she's changed her mind again, so that's part of the issue. So don't even get me going on my personal shit, man.
No. But you got, I mean, what, four more years at least, right? Your youngest is just going into high school.
No, he's in 10th grade.
10th grade. Oh, okay. So you got at least 2 more years to make up.
At least 2, and then trying to sell this place, and it's all good. Anyway, it ain't as easy as some. It's easy to say just get up and move. Well, that's just really not the smartest thing a person can say.
When you got family
you're not in
and
the other person's shoes.
Right. You got family and all that shit. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're just not in the other person's shoes to say something like that. It ain't that easy for some people. I mean, you can say, yeah, just do it. Fuck everything. Well, it ain't that easy, man.
Yeah.
I would love to. Believe me, I'm 52 years old. I did my fucking around when I was in my 20s and 30s. I went all the way out to Portland, Oregon just to fucking end up back here again.
Are the vehicles doing all right in the cold?
That's another thing, too. When it gets that cold, man, you start your car and it sounds like a wind-up toy.
Yep.
And mine's went going for like a minute. I thought for sure it was going to blow the engine. I'm like, fuck, this engine's going to blow. And then it sucks the air out of your tires. The cold makes it contract, and your tires just go flat without no reason. Just boom, you go out to your car, and you're like, good God, I need to find an air hose.
Right.
And to find an air hose is hard here unless you go to a regular mechanic shop, because all the air hoses at the gas stations, they either take in or they're frozen solid.
You don't have a compressor at your house?
No.
Airhawk.
Well, yeah, those Airhawks are pretty nice too. They just plug into the lighter.
I got one. They're awesome.
Yeah, they just plug into the lighter and they can pump up a semi tire. They can go up to like 125 psi. So
they're battery powered.
Oh, they're battery powered?
They have both. It comes with a cord or a battery. It's like a drill.
Oh, very cool.
And yeah, you just keep it in your car. I mean, they're only like $39 at Walgreens.
I'll have to. If it's going to get like this, like I said, this one of the harshest winters that I've seen in a long time. I think comparable is 97, man. And
You got block heaters, a block heater keeping up?
yeah, it seems like it is. My car hadn't had no problem starting my SUV, and my wife's car we keep in the garage, so we keep the wind off of it. That's the thing that's what another misconception people don't understand. It isn't necessarily the cold that sucks the life of your battery. It's the wind.
Yep. The extreme temperature fluctuations.
That wind will drain your battery in 2 seconds. That way when you go somewhere around here, you always park toward the south because the wind's usually blowing out of the north.
And even just to get a car cover that'll cover the grill up and everything, cover the whole car up, that works good to keep the wind out from getting underneath the engine compartment and stuff. So.
But my car, I haven't had no problem with either one of our vehicles. Thank God. Or my son's car. He came here from college this last weekend, and his car started. He's got a Jeep. It started right up.
That's a good deal.
But it's extreme this year, man. And it sucks when you have one of these. 97 is when this town had its record historic floods when all that snow melted, and they're already saying we better hope with God we don't have a fast thaw up here, man, because we have a fast thaw, man, it's going to flood bad.
Or even just an ice dam, even if just the river gets plugged with ice or something from the, a quick
because
thaw.
Fargo's built on the bottom of a lake bed, so we're flat here. And so water has nowhere to go but out.
Yeah.
And so, 97 was really bad. That's when Grand Forks, North Dakota, downtown burnt down. Those buildings were on fire, and they couldn't get to them to put them out because the streets were flooded. And
floods are ugly.
People remember that. That was a big national news when Grand Forks almost burnt down.
Oh, yeah. Floods are ugly, man.
Yep. And so that's another thing we face after the winter. The more snow we get, then we got to look at flooding up here. And my basement takes on a lot of water, man.
I pretty much guaranteed everybody around here we won't get snow this year because I bought a snow blower.
It's kind of like washing your car, right? It's going to rain tomorrow. I just got done washing my car.
Yep. So I bought a snow blower to make sure it doesn't snow here this year.
Yeah. I'm sure your neighbors are happy.
Probably. I was like, I hope I never have to open this box.
Oh, you didn't even put it together? You were like, I bought it.
No.
I bought it. We're good to go for 3 or 4 more years.
Exactly. I'm hoping I keep it in the box for a couple of years.
All right, let's dive into the news. That's what everybody came here to hear. I'm pretty sure that Venezuela's right on the top of your stack of stuff, David. So jump right in, brother.
Yeah, we're going to war with Venezuela. There's no way around it.
Oh, no. Wait. It's a humanitarian mission, and we're only going into Colombia.
Mission.
That's it. That's a hit. That's what they're saying all over MSNBC and CNBC and MSN and Go Fuck Your Mind. And they're telling everybody we're only going into Colombia, and it's just humanitarian. And everybody needs to flip a finger at Maduro because he blocked the fucking bridge. Go ahead. Take over from there.
Pictures all over the place, man.
Yeah.
And this is going to be our next Iraq-style war. It ain't going to be like Iraq because Iraq's in a different place of the world, but it's going to be the same. We're going to end up sending a lot of troops over there.
Well, the one thing they didn't say on CNBC or MSNBC or any of those places that Lance watches, the one thing I didn't see was the complete filling of the sky with Black Hawks fly. I didn't see any of that. So I don't think that's humanitarian.
Well, in Colombia, a lot of people don't realize we have 7 bases there.
Yeah,
to deal with the war on drugs and everything else. So we can move the cocaine.
Yeah,
move the cocaine
up in the Mina, right down yonder.
We have 7 bases there. So we have troops there already. Not enough to go to what we need. We'll end up sending more, but our bases we'll be dividing a lot of troops out to 7 different. We got 2 naval bases over there. We've got a couple air bases over there. We've got a couple army bases over there. We got them back in when was that? 2000? Was it 97? 2007, something like that. And they were originally Colombian bases, but they went ahead and let us have them.
Mm-hmm.
And,
let us have them. Yeah, they let us have them. Yeah.
Well, we've got a puppet Duque over there as president. We put in power over there. He's a puppet for us.
I'm telling you, all these people that the U.S. tries to push into power in all these little foreign flip countries that have oil or gold or other natural resources that they want control of, our government wants control of. If you look at these propped up leaders, you'll find that probably 90% of them attended the School of the Americas. So just throwing that out there. If you want to Google the School of the Americas, that'd be worth a Google.
Well, yeah, 'cause we got a puppet in Brazil now. We just got brought in with Bolsonaro. He's a puppet of ours. New one in Colombia. Duque's only been there for a little while. We got him put into power. And so we're trying to just rearrange the whole all of Latin America.
Yep.
To our liking. You know, Venezuela's next on the list before North Korea, before Iran. Venezuela's next. You know, it's clear to see now. I mean, some of these talk, you know, and what's funny, and I'll say this, Trump has been keeping his mouth pretty quiet on this. He said a little bit on last night in the State of the Union, which wasn't much, except that we support this puppet over there, Guaido, that we're trying to stick in over there. Now, this makes me mad here. This is a straight out, we were trying a coup, and the coup's not working, so next thing is war.
Mm-hmm.
And because the military just won't break away from them in large chunks. They refuse to. And so next thing is war here. And so, you know, you've had Pompeo, Secretary of State, John Bolton, our National Security Advisor, Mr. Warhawk. Pompeo is too, though. You've had Mark Rubio's been playing a huge part in this. Marco Rubio, little Marco. He's been playing a big part of this, too.
He's a little butt boy, man.
Rick Scott of Florida has been playing a big part in this.
He's another butt boy.
Yep. And, you know, and so they've all been going on Twitter at different times saying different things. You know, this is what Bolton said today, a couple little things. He came out and said the U.S. will consider sanctions off-ramps for any Venezuelan senior military officer that stands for democracy and recognizes the constitutional government of President Juan Guaido. If not, the international financial circle will be closed off completely. Make the right choice. So we're trying to pull these officers away from them before trying to cause a coup, but it's not going to work. And so you've got Bolton coming out, and what else? There's some more today from him. Let me find a couple of Rubios here that he said today. Okay, here.
Dead air is not good on radio, man.
No, man, I got to find these here.
I'm just.
And this is what Rubio said. One of them says, "Time's running out for Venezuelan military leaders to defend their constitution by recognizing Juan Guaido and supporting Maduro's exit. If you do, U.S. will be willing to abide by amnesty laws and potentially remove sanctions against you. If you don't, you will live the rest of your days as an international pariah."
Pariah.
Basically, what we're trying to do now is pull these officers away and say, we'll give you amnesty. We won't charge you with any kind of crimes against the Venezuelan people if you pull away from Maduro.
This is what it all comes back down to. Who the fuck are we?
Yeah, exactly.
Who the fuck are we to tell anybody else what kind of laws they can break and what kind?
I think Erdogan said that in front of the UN today, didn't he?
Yeah.
No,
he was pretty brutal on it.
It was in front of his own government, but it was made nationally or internationally, you know. And
he was just talking to the UN. Then I got you.
Yeah, and so the deal is Erdogan's not on our side with this. This is going to,
There's a lot of motherfuckers that aren't on our side, dude.
No, there isn't. And the deal is, you've got us. You've got not even. See, this is a problem right now. Is not all of Europe is for this guy that we want to stick into office. Ireland's against him. Italy's against him. And so he's been over there, this guy, Edo. We sent him over to Europe yesterday to meet with these leaders personally.
Excuse me.
To try to change their viewpoint.
Yeah.
We want all of
Europe.
That
means throwing money.
We want all of Europe backing this guy we want to stick into office.
The only way they're going to do that is through either coercion or threats. sanctions or whatever. You either follow us or we're going to fuck you over.
Well, we're basically telling these countries that are, supposedly allies of ours that don't want to follow this guy, you need to be on the right side of history.
Yeah, right.
That's what we're telling
them. Because we're writing it. We're writing that history.
Yeah. And so this is what Rick Scott said today, Senator Rick Scott of Florida. He says, "This is absolutely disgusting, and my heart breaks for our friends in Venezuela." He says, "The United States must do whatever is necessary to force Maduro to step aside and get these families the help they need to survive." And this was his statement, and it's pretty... He says, Senator Rick Scott released the following statement after Venezuelan soldiers backed by Nicolas Maduro began blocking humanitarian aid from entering the country. Senator Rick Scott said, under Maduro's horrendous dictatorship, families in Venezuela are forced to go without adequate food, water, and medicine, and are in desperate need of help. Now, as interim President Juan Guaido tries to put an end to the crisis and restore constitutional government, Maduro is blocking vital humanitarian aid in a desperate attempt to hold on to power. This is absolutely disgusting, and my heart breaks for our friends in Venezuela. The United States must do whatever is necessary to force Maduro aside and get these families the help they need to survive. Every option must be on the table to end the Maduro regime and free Venezuela from the oppressive socialist dictatorship. So if that don't tell you war,
I got a question for you, Governor Scott. How many thousands of homeless people do you have on the streets of your state? How many thousands of hungry children and families are on the streets of your state? I call on the United States government to remove your socialist ass from power and restore law and order to your state and get those homeless people in shelters and get food in their bellies, because the local government and the state government aren't fucking cutting it. How about that, Governor Scott?
Sounds like Marco Rubio, too. He's saying the same stuff.
Yep. All those governors and senators of Florida on both sides of the party are also parroting all this. For some reason, Florida is playing a big part in this war. Big part. And I understand there's Venezuelans, and in Miami, we have a shadow government set up for the next, if we can get Maduro out and get Guaido in, we've already got his cabinet set up sitting in Miami right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why Florida's on there, because all the Venezuelan exiles are sitting in Miami right now. All the big opposition people that got exiled are all sitting right here.
The hypocrisy is just overwhelming.
It's so deep.
Well, this is what Marco Rubio also said today. He says, Venezuelan military is postured to block food and aid from entering the country. Military leaders should think carefully about the short-term implications for the country and long-term implications for them if they actually do this.
No, the Venezuelan military is prepared to block a U.S. invasion. That's what they're there for. Because that's what's coming. And they know it. Because they've seen it time and time again, over and over, all around the fucking planet.
This is what the troops to our border's about. It is. This is why we're sending so many, troops to our border, and that's because of this war that's coming. Mm-hmm. This is in our backyard, right? And Mexico's not on our side in this. We don't trust them. We don't trust they're not going to allow thousands and thousands of refugees to come flooding toward our border. And they will. This will destabilize all of Latin America, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. These countries that are our friends right now, like Brazil. Brazil is the Turkey of Latin America. They will turn on you on a dime. This Bolsonaro wants an empire. He wants Brazil to run all of Latin America. And he's going to turn on us. Once we get in there, he's going to turn on us. They're going to suck us in. And Maduro is right. He put out a real good interview yesterday for like 40 minutes or 22 minutes. To RT. I listened to it. It was translated. And he put out a real good, and he said, President Trump, blood's going to be on your hands. This is going to be your next Vietnam. And it is. People don't realize that this has the makings of Vietnam 2.0, especially with all, Caracas is pretty urban, but the surrounding areas is jungle and mountains.
You know that the collapse of Venezuela has been going on since before Trump got into office, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So for anyone to blame this on Trump or drop it in his lap or throw it on his doorstep is just ludicrous, man. It's, again, the hypocrisy is just unbelievable in these people.
Well, the deal is Trump is being pretty quiet on it, but he's allowing Pompeo and Bolton and other cabinet members to come out and make all these threats. So you got to wonder what's his position on this. I mean, he did come out in the State of the Union last night and called Maduro an oppressive regime, and we stand behind this Juan Guaido. So Trump has already talked to this Guaido too that we want to put into office, and Trump gave him his full support. So it's the script.
We tried this shit in Syria and it didn't work.
Well, this is a script that was given to Trump. Like any other president, he was given a script, and they said, dude, this is what's going to go down. We told you about this, before you got in the office. And so he's just following the script. And I'm not blaming this on Trump, but he's just doing what Obama did. He's just doing what Bush did. He's doing what every other president did.
That's what they all do.
That's what they all do. That's his job. Take this script and make it true.
Yep.
And so they're letting him keep his, make him look a little bit, not distance from it, but keep his mouth shut on this. And they're letting these other people talk. So, Pompeo came out there. This is what he said. He said, U.S. Secretary of State Pompeo demands that Venezuela military let in U.S. aid. Demands.
Again, I say, who the fuck are you, Pompeo, to tell anybody in a foreign country to do anything? Who are you? This whole we got to be the cop of the fucking world, that was out the window years ago, man. Years ago. Everybody that has two fucking brain cells to rub together can put the dots together on this whole thing and see that it happened 5 years ago, it happened 8 years ago,
Something that's really else is interesting. It's kind of not off topic, but it goes along with wars. Is within the past 24 hours, France, Russia, and the U.S. have all conducted test launches of unarmed nuclear missiles. Yesterday, France did a nuclear type missile launch from a warplane yesterday. Russia tested an ICBM Yars from their Cosmodrome, and then today we launched a Minuteman III from Vandenberg.
Ours probably missed.
A lot of nuclear dick waving going around.
Oh, yeah.
Putin came out today and says
Keep
that
the people scared.
He's coming out with a new nuclear weapon that will just completely devastate us, and there's no way we can stop it.
Mm-hmm. Hypersonic.
Yep.
5,000-kilometer range.
Trump officially announced we dropped out of that INF treaty, and now Putin's like, all right, screw you then. I guess we can go balls to the wall with this. So while we got this hot war with Venezuela that's starting that involves Russia and China, and it does, they've got a lot of interest in Venezuela. China has given Venezuela multi-billion-dollar loans the past couple years, and Maduro was unable to pay it back. He defaulted on it, and so China made a deal with him. Give us some of your oil over here, and let us run some ports over here. And we'll work a deal out. And so Maduro did. So China runs a portion of Venezuelan oil over there.
And they're not going to stop.
No, and
just
Russia,
because the U.S. says so.
Russia's heavily invested into Venezuela, too. They're giving him a loan. And in return, Russia's getting some oil. But Russia's mainly going for the gold.
He's already sent him 20 tons, I think.
Turkey, he sold a bunch to Turkey, too, here a while back. Cashed out on that. And this is where people are pissed. They're like, well, we got all this gold and Maduro's been cashing it out. Why are the people still going hungry over here?
Oh, so, because he has to pay Salt Bay to bring over some ribeyes and act like a fag.
Well, we started sanctioning Venezuela back when Bush Jr. was president. And we started building up to the point we're fixing to hit right now, all the way back in 2002. And we started sanctioning Venezuela little at a time. And it's because of our sanctions, for no reason, or the reason why the people are starving over there. That's one of the reasons. I'm not saying Maduro's not an asshole. He could be like the rest of the leaders in this world.
All the rich kids down there in Venezuela are still on their Twitter accounts,
they're still on,
waving their fucking cash around, and
they're saying the elite still have money, but the poor have no money, no food, which is proven. They ate the damn zoo animals there.
Well, damn, it sounds just like the fucking U.S., except for we give all the poor people free shit.
Yep, you're right about that. But you know what gets me is they're a socialist country. You would have thought they would have. Obviously, the free shit ran out. That's how socialism works.
Yep. And then they started their inflation, which is up over 1,000,000% now.
Yeah. And so the people are starving over there, and they really are. And you can point the finger at us. You can point the finger at Maduro. You can point the finger at the elite over in Venezuela. There's a lot of fingers to point at, but we do play a part of this.
Yeah, because if you know history, and you've seen history and you've done your research, you will have seen this exact same scenario played out over and over and over again by the United States government in other countries. So to think that we had a hand in the collapse of Venezuela, yeah. Ding. Sorry, go ahead. Lance, you want to chime in here, man? I mean, am I wrong on that at all?
No. I mean, I'm just watching it unfold, and I hear Pompeo because I'm not sure. I don't follow the guy, so I'm not sure who keeps liking his tweets in my feed, but they keep showing up in my feed. So I mean, I'm just like,
I'm sure Jack Dorsey loves the shit out of him, right? Because Twitter works for fucking.
The hypocrisy of our government is just over the fucking top.
Yep.
Listen to Rubio's tweets and, talking about Maduro can't do this and that and that. And I'm like, but we can? I mean, holy shit, it's so deep.
Yeah.
I can't believe people even buy this crap anymore.
Go ahead, David.
Well, in part of that speech yesterday that Maduro had in RT, he said a few things here were interesting. He said that while U.S. President Donald Trump has not ruled out military intervention in Venezuela, Maduro appears to believe it's not going to happen, but says his armies are still getting ready. He says there will be no war or military intervention, Maduro said, but that doesn't mean we must not prepare to defend our sacred land. It says to that end, Venezuela is preparing 2 million fighters, as well as missile systems, artillery, air force, and their naval fleet. Now, he knows war is coming. He just ain't going to say it, but he knows war is coming. They're starting their hugest military drills in Venezuelan history on November 10th or February 10th for 5 days. So coming up on the 10th, and it's going to run 5 days long. Now,
anybody that thinks that he's a horrible person and going to start a war, think about this. What would our country be doing in the exact same situation?
Well, yeah, defending themselves.
Yeah.
I hate to say that Hussein did the same thing.
Right. This is just this is all it's
exactly like him.
It's Stratego. I mean, if you guys ever played the board game when you were younger, it's Stratego. That's all it is. They're moving fucking chess pieces around on a big map of the planet.
Yep, and Venezuela's the next land to get conquered. If this don't blow up in our face, which it could. And that's the most worrisome aspect of this. We don't know what Russia and China is going to do.
The reason that
how far they're going to go to keep this guy in power.
Exactly. And the reason that you know that this is all over natural resources and control of that area of land is because Guaido, or whatever the fuck his name is, down there in Miami, said already, as soon as I get in power, I'm going to turn over the oil.
Well, he's in Venezuela. He's in Caracas. He hasn't left. And
according to the headlines,
he makes trips between Miami and Caracas, and he's in Caracas. And the Maduro threatened to arrest him yesterday. He says, well, if he happens to get arrested, then that's his fault. And then we shot right back out after we heard that and said, you don't even want to attempt to touch him.
Oh, ooh.
And so what we're saying is this Guaido, he's just going to be, quote unquote, the interim president. Once Maduro's gone, we're going to get him in, and then he's going to call for elections.
And here's another thing that I want to point out to people that I'm sure everybody that's listening, or everybody that's in the room anyway, my regular people already probably know, is that alongside, well, maybe not alongside, but equal to the millions of people in the streets calling for Maduro's ouster, there are millions of people in the streets screaming Maduro is our president. So it's not like everybody in the fucking country hates Maduro, because they don't.
No.
It's a select group of people, just like there's a select group of people, if you want to call them people, in this country that like Hillary Clinton. Same thing.
Don't be talking about my girl.
Sorry.
I kind of like that Kamala Harris now. She's hot.
Oh my God.
It's all AOC, man. AOC.
That bitch is fucking crazy.
She's crazy.
Cortez, she's fucking crazy. And all the chicks dressed in white. I didn't watch the speech. I've seen clips of it today on some different.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
I watched it.
I didn't watch it. All the chicks in white. I don't know what that was supposed to represent, or if they were all
the new
first termers
Democrats
or
in Congress.
Okay.
First timers.
Okay, all the first timers. Well, that's like a target on their back now, because a lot of them are for the whole socialist agenda, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of those white wearing women last night aren't going to be in that seat in 2 years. They're just over the top. You know, if this is like the socialist agenda that most of these first termers want to push into being, is like a parody. 70% fucking tax rate, no guns, blah blah. It's like a joke, man. It's like a joke. Go ahead. Sorry, had to rant about that for just a second. Go ahead.
Well, there's some more stuff in that speech Maduro gave yesterday. The casus belli. He said Venezuela is not a threat to the U.S. and the real reasons to threaten an invasion are far more cynical. Maduro believes. He said, "What casus belli does Donald Trump have against Venezuela? Have we got weapons of mass destruction? Are we a threat to the U.S.? You know what the real casus belli is here? Venezuelan oil. Venezuela's rich as gold, gas, diamonds, iron, water."
For a country with that many natural resources, for there to be any kind of food shortage whatsoever means corruption. That's all it means, is corruption.
Yeah.
For a country like the U.S. to have all the natural resources that we have in the ground here in this country, for anyone in this country to be homeless or jobless is corruption.
Yeah.
Hey, Donald Trump last night said we're the number one producer of oil.
We're not the number one producer of oil. We are a net.
Donald Trump. Hey, I'm telling you what Donald Trump said.
Well, I'm telling you that his speechwriter was way off the fucking mark. Okay, because we are just a net exporter, finally, of oil. We are a net exporter. We export more oil than we import, which kind of makes no sense if you think about it. If we have enough oil to sell to other countries, why are we fucking buying oil from anybody? We should just be using our own in-house.
Petrodollar.
Well, yeah, it's failing. It's failing.
Well, the deal is that oil that the Maduro has, he's sitting on the biggest oil field in the world. And the deal is that oil, though, is hard to refine. Actually, he sends it to us to refine, or he was for a while, and we were refining it and sending it back.
They're sending it all to China now, brother.
Yeah, because of Citgo and those stations over here. And the deal is, it's a real sludgy oil. It ain't, it's a hard oil to refine. So even though he's sitting on
it's
the biggest
Canadian tar sands.
Yeah. Even though he's sitting on the biggest oil field, it's one of the hardest to refine. But still, we want it. I mean, you look at Libya. When we did that with Britain and France, and we got Gaddafi out of there in no time. Britain wanted that oil because they were already buying 2% of the oil from Libya, and they were like, "Screw this, we're sick of paying for it. Let's just take
it."
And they took it and had Gaddafi killed on top of it.
They came, they saw, he died.
Right? I will say one thing about Gaddafi: he had the balls to hang around and at least take it. He didn't flee his country. He sat there and he got killed.
Here's another thing about Gaddafi that people don't ever say.
I'll say that about any leader that's
he took care of his people.
Yeah, and the deal is any leader that's not afraid of war, not afraid of dying for his country and what he believes in. I'll give some respect to, and I don't, Gaddafi might have been a shitbag in some people's eyes, but the man stuck around and took it.
Mm-hmm.
And so did Hussein. Sure, they found him in a spider hole, but he didn't flee his country.
Nope.
He died in his homeland, and I'm just wondering Maduro will be the same way. He seems like a real patriotic guy for his country,
Saint asks, why aren't the blue helmets stepping up to the plate in Venezuela? Tinfoil Hatter asks, or says, Twitter's cool, but the infuriating so many unreasonable people, you know it. Which he was for women's rights. Saint says celebration of the right to vote and whatever else they've gained over the years. Right to abortion and right to take your guns is their goal. Yeah.
I've got an answer for his one question.
Go ahead.
Why aren't blue helmets?
Yeah.
Well, this is what the UN said. The UN came out and made several statements. One, they said that we're going to remain neutral in this. But then they came out and kind of condemned us and said, don't be using this aid as a way to start a war.
That's the way we always start our fucking wars, man. USAID.
Now, of course, the UN's toothless. It don't matter even if we don't give a shit what they say when it comes to a power play like this. We didn't care what they said about Iraq or Libya. This ain't no different.
Nope.
We don't give a shit what we are the UN. And so, but the deal is this, that the Vatican is playing a big part of this too. And this is how you can tell it's a deep state war. The Vatican is knee deep up. The Pope is knee deep in this. And that's simply because Maduro is a devout Catholic, just like all of Latin America pretty much is. And he wrote the Pope a letter and asked the Pope to intervene in this. He's like, told the Pope, talk to Trump, talk to you got to. Let's keep this war from coming. And the Pope turned around, and there's pictures of Pope shaking Maduro's hand a while back and everything. But the Catholic Church came out. The Catholic Church in Venezuela came out and said that basically they're backing Guaido. Now the Vatican came out and said that they would intervene in this, but only if both sides agreed to it. So if Maduro agreed to it and we agreed to it, the Pope would intervene. But of course, we don't want someone to intervene, so we told the Pope no, he needs to go.
I saw a picture a couple days ago of the Pope and the Russian Catholic dude fucking smooching. What the fuck was that about?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, they were locking lips.
The Pope?
I saw it too.
Yeah, creepy fucking shit. And the guy from, the head hoo-ha from Russia, the head Catholic dude from Russia with the big fucking hat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what the hell that was all about. Because last I heard, the Russian guy didn't want anything to do with the Roman Catholics. He was like, you guys are all for abortion and blah, 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 same-sex marriage and yada, yada, and we're not part of that. But now I guess they're kissing, so he must have jerked him over to the other side.
The article I read about it was like, well, here we come, one world religion, trying to get it all together.
Oh, is that it? Okay. So it's back to the Agenda 2030 shit and all. Okay, I got it. New World Order.
Well, what should be frightening to everyone is with the Catholic Church, the Vatican being so involved in this war with Venezuela. Here he's, he's trying to, be sympathetic to Maduro in a way, but at the same time, the Pope wants this war because he's got to take the same side as London and everybody else. This is a New World Order war that's coming.
Because DC, the Vatican, and London are three independent places. They have absolutely nothing. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
And so, this is what makes this so scary and dangerous. This just isn't an American invasion. This is a New World Order invasion.
It's been going on for 100 fucking years, man. Over 100 fucking years.
This is an outward one where they're not even hiding it.
Dude, they've been overt. These New World Order people have been overt in our faces for at least 5 years now that we've been talking about it. We've been talking about it. Look at the shit coming out of Hollywood and the fucking commercials on TV and the way they're talking and the whole the pedophilia thing is off the fucking charts right now. The abortion shit that's going on in Virginia. Oh my God, man! Oh, fuck. They want to talk about it, too. The people in the room are making comments about the whole abortion thing. So before we go off the air tonight in an hour and 10 minutes, we've got to hit on that because that's fucking huge.
Oh, I listened to a great article on that tonight on the POTUS.
Well, let's
Sirius channel.
Right, let's let David finish with the whole Venezuela shit, and then we'll dive into it. Go ahead, David. Sorry.
All right, yesterday, the foreign ministers of Colombia and Brazil were in D.C., and they met with Pompeo and said that they discussed the situation in Venezuela, and that's all they pretty much said. Next week, the president, Duque of Colombia, flies to meet with Trump to discuss Venezuela. He's coming to D.C., so you know this war is coming. There's red flags. I've never seen these many red flags since the Iraq War. It's insane.
Yeah.
And so, there's going to be a three-prong invasion. This is how it's going to work. I know a guy that follows this South American stuff, and he knows everything that goes on over there. And I talked to him the past couple of days, and he really broke it down to me. We're going to come in from a three-prong approach. You're going to have we're going to come in from Colombia, from the northwest of Venezuela, the northwest side. We're going to come in with Colombia. We're coming in. The U.S. is going to fly
West side. Sorry.
U.S. is probably going to be flying in from Puerto Rico. We're staging aid in Puerto Rico. We're staging aid right on the border with Venezuela and Colombia, and we're staging aid in Brazil to be flown in. And it's going to be a three-pronged thing. You're going to have Brazil come in, fly in troops to pass the rainforest and stuff over there right toward the border, and they're going to come in from that way. You're going to have Colombia come in from the northwest, and you're going to have us come in straight down south, making a beeline for Caracas. And so we're going to do a pincher approach on him, try to split his army in two. The deal with Maduro is he has a pretty massive army. But the deal is he's got a 1.6 million, 600 million militia, civilian militia. The only way you can have a firearm in Venezuela is to join this militia and swear your allegiance to Maduro. And if you can do that, you're allowed to have a gun. You get trained by the military, everything. Well, he's incorporating this 1.6 million militia into the military, making them conscripts, making them officers and soldiers, which makes his military over 2 million now, almost 2 million strong.
Gee, that's equal to ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've only got 2.4 million active duty, something like that.
And so while he's doing that, you got to remember, though, there's all kinds of other groups over there that hate us, too, like the ELN, all these drug groups, these drug militias. There's like 5 major ones over there, and all of them hate us.
Yep.
And we're going to get sucked in. Our men and women are going to get sucked into this. And it's like part Iraq, part Vietnam, what's fixing to go down. This is going to be a war that we haven't seen.
There's a lot of guys that are putting little pictures up with their faces covered that are saying, just like they did back in the Gulf, I'm not part of your fucking world order shit. I'm not going to go to Venezuela and fight a war that we're not supposed to be in. So there's a lot of soldiers out there that are waking up, see what's going on, see that this has absolutely nothing to do with the safety and security of the United States at all. Not at all. We have absolutely no reason to be down there. We have no reason to be telling that country what to do with their fucking government or anything else. We should be minding our own fucking business.
This story came out. It really ain't a story. I mean, I've got the story, but the headline is this: the United States Army is going to buy the Iron Dome missile system from Israel for an immediate need of the U.S. Army. So we're going to be setting these up in the field, maybe in Syria, wherever, to protect our bases over there. Or maybe they could be for America to protect us from something that they know that's coming. I don't know, but it's crazy that we're set for immediate need of the U.S. Army. Now, the Iron Dome kind of makes me mad because we gave it, and I'm not knocking Israel on this. I'm not going to be crazy anti-Semitic about this. But what I'm saying is we gave Israel the funding for them to do this Iron Dome, and now we're going to turn around and pay for the son of a bitch after we gave them the money to build it. Why don't they give it to us for free?
Because we're the Goyim.
Well,
that's the way they consider us, man. We're the Goyim. So,
yep.
You give us the money so we can build this, and then when you want one, we're going to sell them to you.
Yep.
Fucking ridiculous. I was like, what?
And don't be late on your $50 billion to fund our fucking military either.
Yeah, to give us the money you give us every year.
That's right. Don't be late on that. Otherwise, we'll call you anti-Semitic. Do you know what Semitism actually is? Do you know what a Semite was? Semite is a language. To be anti-Semitic means that you don't speak that language. That's all that word means. It's been so corrupted over history, just like every fucking thing else that's ever been given to us as an education, indoctrination. It's ludicrous, man. It's ludicrous. Whatever. I'm not going to get into it.
But anyway, the question is, where are they going to stick these things? What's the immediate need that we need these for?
Because they need money.
What I'm thinking is maybe once this war gets going with Venezuela, Israel and Iran's going to pop off, and they want some protection for our troops over in Syria, maybe Afghanistan.
Yeah. People aren't buying enough soda streams and stuff, so Israel doesn't have any money, right?
That's it. Our Senate came out yesterday and overwhelmingly passed a bill to keep our troops in Syria, to keep our troops in Afghanistan, and support Israel on what you just said.
Yeah, because the Democratic Party is now the party of incessant war, right? It's amazing how they flip-flop in all of their agendas. Republican and Democrat. Don't get me wrong. I'm anarchist. If there's any new listeners that don't know by now, I'm an anarchist. I don't like government, period. I think they all should go find a fucking job.
That they passed that in the Senate when the Republicans still control the Senate.
It's a fucking game, dude. It's just a game. It's just a game.
Basically, they're going against the guy they support as president, saying, no, we're leaving the troops in Syria. No, we're leaving the troops in Afghanistan. No, we're supporting Israel. So basically, Trump got overridden by his own party.
Go get Angus. I'll let you both out.
That's the part that surprised me. The Congress, the House, I could understand. The Democrats run, but this was in the Senate where his boys run it.
It's just a game.
Man, that's all it is, dude.
It's so obvious now that the fact that people don't get it, the fact that people are still doing the whole left-right paradigm and haven't seen through all this smoke and bullshit is just mind-boggling, dude. It's just, carrying on. What else you got? Let's talk about something that's not Venezuela.
Let me see here. Well, that's the main thing. I mean, you had.
Let's talk about the speech last night, and then we'll do that for a few minutes, and then we'll go on to the abortion thing because that might take a minute. Go ahead. Want to talk about the speech? Anything stick out at you?
Not me. I was falling asleep halfway through it. Sound like the same old rhetoric they say every year.
So I was listening to the speech.
Okay, here we go. Lance Musser, ladies and gentlemen. Lance Musser.
And if you would have had a CGI and they would have superimposed Obama's picture and everybody would have been watching Obama say that same exact speech. Well, he wouldn't have said it about the abortion part of it. But, I mean, he was against the wall. I mean, he was for a border wall back when he was running and everything else. So, I mean, it was funny to watch that because if there would have been a CGI done and the people in the home were seeing either Clinton or Obama say that same exact speech, they would have been jumping up and down for every single word that was said. I thought personally it was a phenomenal speech. But that's only if the messenger is, can even be trusted, because just 2 weeks ago, I mean, he's rallied against every single thing he said in his speech. So obviously he didn't write the speech.
Right.
And
That's
I
what
kept yelling
there was a
at the
couple
screen.
people. Yeah.
Man, I kept yelling at the screen for the teleprompter to break, because when he goes off script, dude, it is just a riot. He went off script one time when he was talking about the investigation into him. That's where he went off script that one time. And I was like, go, go, go. Then he got right back on script. And I was like, damn it.
Probably because the teleprompter was flashing in his face.
I'm sure that
there was a lot of people that made that comment.
Said they had a bouncing cheeseburger on going over the words to make them stay on track. That was pretty hilarious, actually. But
there was a lot of comments on Twitter about how they wished that he would have done it without a teleprompter, that he would have just done it off the cuff.
Yeah, because I mean, when he does his rallies and he's off the cuff, I mean, that's where all your true Donald Trump controversy comes out, contradicting himself. So, I mean, it was a great speech, but all it was just a voice, because, I mean, the messenger can't be believed. So, I mean, not that,
You don't. Wait. You're a CNN watcher, man. You're a CNN watcher. So,
no, I watch both of them. I mean, I watch all of them just so I can see what lies they're telling everybody.
So, do you believe that Trump is the savior of the world?
Fuck no.
Okay.
I mean, he's an idiot.
Just checking.
I mean, he is.
I don't think he's an idiot by any stretch of the imagination. He's very unthought out. He's very unthought out.
He's just.
There's other people that'll tell you though that whole deer in the headlights look that he gets every once in a while, and the wild shit that he says. There's people out there, the Q followers, that'll tell you that's 4D chess, man. He's playing 4D chess. He's got him right where he wants them. They're right in his fucking pocket. All you got to do is follow the script, follow the plan. Blah. It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a joke. I mean, I did love seeing Nancy Pelosi
with the golf clap,
her faces, and when she stood up and leaned forward and did almost like a seal clap.
Yeah, the golf clap. That's going to be pushed as a meme over the next week, dude.
Oh, it was, but it was like up and down clap.
Yeah,
leaning over the podium. Right. I mean, like 2 inches away from his ear or something. It was hilarious.
Oh man.
But I was yelling at the screen all night. So.
The day that all of those fucking people that were in that auditorium or wherever the fuck it is, the rotunda or wherever, I don't know what they call it. All the Angus, ladies and gentlemen, the Angus has made an appearance. The day that I see all those fucking people swinging from a rope and a yard arm, I will be a happy man.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for a bomb to drop or something. But I mean, you can't you just can't watch it and believe anything they say, because every single one of them has said the same exact thing. I will say I think he got more standing ovations from the Democratic side than he did last year. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'll be right back. I'm going to let the dogs out. You two chat amongst yourselves.
Are we chatting?
Yeah.
So what did you think of it?
It sounds like the same old gibberish to me every year,
Mm-hmm.
Just out to win. I don't know.
What do you think of our governor? I say by Friday, when that news came out last Friday, and I think he shot himself in the foot when he came out immediately and apologizing for being one of the people in the photo, and then 24 hours later said, "Oh, I wasn't in that photo."
Yeah.
So they've interviewed the yearbook people, and the yearbook people have said, "Look, everybody gave us 3 or 4 photos that they wanted on their page. We didn't pull any random photos from events throughout the year and randomly put them on anybody's page. Everybody got to pick what was on their page." Seriously. I mean, that's what the yearbook staff came out and said. So, I mean, that whole EVMS is right here. I mean, it's 20 miles away from me over in Norfolk. So they had a shutdown on that.
Wait. Back up the truck for just a second. Didn't he say that that wasn't him in the blackface?
So yeah, that's what I was saying when you were out. I mean, he started Friday when it came out, apologizing, saying, "I'm sorry for showing up in one of those, being one of those people on the photo," essentially. And then 24 hours later said, "Well, I wasn't one of those people." So, the yearbook in the year before, the year after, both showed people in blackface. I was saying that they interviewed our local, because EVMS is right here.
Yeah.
Our local news people went and interviewed them and went to the library and pulled the yearbooks out and started looking through them. And they talked to the yearbook staff from back then. And they were like, look, everybody gave us the photos that they wanted on their page. There wasn't any random photos. Everybody gave us the photos they wanted on their page. So you got to ask, even in 1984, what were you fucking thinking?
Wait.
A photo like that over to the yearbook staff to put it in your yearbook page, and then
when was Ted Danson
to say, hold on, and then have the balls to say 30 years later, oh, I never saw the yearbook until this Friday. I never even looked at the yearbook.
Oh, well, that's a load of horse shit.
That's
right
what
there.
he said, though.
Yeah, well, that's a politician lying through his teeth.
He never bought the yearbook that year. He never looked in it. He didn't know what was in it until this year.
That's loaded horse shite.
Oh, it was loaded horse shit. And, he couldn't remember if he had done it, if he was the one in the photo. And,
yeah, but when you're talking about 1985, what were they thinking? What was it? I don't know if it was Whoopi that was getting roasted or something was going on, but Ted Danson came out at a Whoopi Goldberg event in blackface and did his whole shtick, comedian shtick, and on the mic in front on a podium, in front of a podium in front of everybody. So that's just that shit happens, man. Occasionally shit's funny. And people laugh at it. You know what I mean? Everybody being offended by every fucking thing that flies out of somebody's mouth is getting way, way out of control, man.
Oh, it is. Because I think it's funny in certain circumstances. Because, a weird sense of humor that I got. But, I mean, what would have been hilarious is if the guy in the KKK outfit was a black guy. So, that would have been funny. That would have been comical.
Yeah.
To where, at a party, everybody's drinking everything else.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't get blasted when I showed up as Michael Vick to a Halloween party one year. The year Michael Vick got busted for the dog fighting, I showed up to a Halloween party in dreadlocks, blackface. I had an Atlanta Falcons jersey that said Convict on the back. And I hold on, it gets better. I walked my wife in to the party. She was dressed up as a dog, and I had her on a studded leash all night. Dude, man, I walked into that party and people bowed down and they handed me the trophy. They were like, oh, we can't beat that.
Fuck, dude. That's just funny. See? Yeah,
so I know.
Shit's funny, people.
It's funny.
There used to be this thing in this country called a sense of fucking humor. Yeah. You people, you libtard fucking heart wearing on your sleeve, get a fucking set of balls, man. God damn. Fuck. You
need a safe space.
What's that?
I need a safe space.
I don't think they're always trying to demean somebody by dressing up somebody, but sometimes it's funny, but it was still inappropriate back in the 80s. I mean, it was still inappropriate. So but
at a certain point you got to go. Who gives a fuck?
24-year-old kid in college. I mean,
do you really want to ruin somebody's career over a bad choice that they made 4 decades ago?
Well, they did it to Brett Kavanaugh.
Oh, so, yeah. It backfired on him.
Standard now.
It backfired on him.
They're vetting somebody. And who ought to be fired is fucking Gillespie's opposition research team, because that was the guy that ran against him in the election in November. Dude, had Gillespie's opposition research team just found that yearbook page, do you think he would have been elected governor?
No.
Hell no. Gillespie would have been our governor right now.
You know who else ought to be fired? Cory Booker for breaking the Senate rules of ethics. But they're not going to do a fucking thing.
Person about an LGBT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But releasing all the classified documents on Kavanaugh, when they were doing the Senate investigation of him or whatever, he released all those fucking documents.
Spartacus.
His Spartacus
you can't
moment.
touch him.
You can't fuck off.
But I mean, what's even worse is the lieutenant governor, Fairfax here in Virginia. So if Northam resigns, Fairfax is being faced with a sexual harassment thing from, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
The woman saying he sexually assaulted him. He's saying it was consensual. Well, where's all these motherfuckers that stood up during Kavanaugh and said, oh, the woman's got to be believed. I believe her. She's believable. I believe her. I believe her. I believe her. Well, where's all them son bitches now?
Right.
So it matters if you got a D or an R next to your name on whether or not you're upset. That's just bullshit, man.
Well, no, see, but at first when it came out that he was in the KKK outfit or the blackface or whatever, CNN said that he was a Republican.
Well,
there's that. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. There's that, right? I mean, there is that. So, Ricky wants us to jump back to
on Northam, but on the sexual assault one for the lieutenant governor. They're not coming out of the woodwork like they did for Kavanaugh and every other woman that came out against another Republican.
Me too. Ricky wants us to jump back to the speech for a minute, and everybody, if you haven't seen the clip of Bernie Sanders' face when Trump says that this country will never be socialist, go find that clip. He didn't make a face. Yeah, well, yeah, he was just sitting there. He
didn't make a face. He just sat there stone-faced as shit.
Yeah, he was just harumph.
Yep, because I was waiting for him to make a face. Yeah. They panned the camera to him immediately, and I was like,
because he knew.
Come on, make a face.
I'd like to have seen Ocasio-Cortez at the same moment, but they didn't have a split screen.
She didn't make a face during the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Donald Trump could have got up there and said he was against, kicking puppies, and she wouldn't have. I mean, she didn't break, other than that time that he applauded women and the World War II veterans upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed that the only times that the justices stood up was they gave a standing ovation for the World War II vet, the D-Day people. That was the only time they clapped or stood up.
Well, I would have been half asleep too.
Well, that little Trump kid did fall asleep. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
The kid with the last name Trump, he fell asleep.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, are you guys ready? Let's dive into the abortion thing. Are you ready for this? Because this is going to get heated. I guarantee you it's going to get heated.
I think it's being blown out of proportion, but go ahead.
Well, go ahead. Let's hear your thoughts on the whole thing.
Well, I mean, obviously I heard the speech and I saw that lady who grimaced her face before she had to say yes, even in breaching and everything else.
Yeah.
But, from what I heard on the interview tonight, and I didn't realize, the POTUS station on Sirius. I mean, I didn't realize Chris Cuomo had a station or a show on at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night. I didn't know that. So I was listening to it driving down the store. I'll tell you what, he cusses up a storm on internet radio. It's hilarious. It ain't nothing like watching him on CNN. But
he's a douche.
He is. He's a horrible dipshit. And, he was like, well, I know a lot about this because my brother, runs a state who just passed this, and, Virginia's close. So apparently he's saying it's got something to do with Roe versus Wade, that Trump is trying to overturn it or something, and that they're trying to go to the extreme to make Roe versus Wade look like kids play, or I can't remember exactly what it is, but they're like, this is just a ploy. And I'm like, well,
it's not a ploy.
It's backfiring to me. It sounds like it's backfiring to me.
It's not a ploy when you pass a law that allows abortion at 40 weeks. That is not a ploy. It's not a ploy when you have partial birth abortions. It's not a ploy when you give birth and then decide whether or not you want to keep the baby, even though it's already out of the womb, viable, and living.
And this is one of those things where they said, it's a case of deformity.
What the fuck ever, man.
It's going to be retarded, where it can't speak or something. And I'm not taking a side, so I'm not justifying any of it. But that's what they're saying. So, I mean, it's in, the particular case that they were talking about was, okay, the baby comes out and its heart is outside of its body. I'm making that up. But, whatever it is,
I have a friend
not going to have a life after that.
No, that's not true at all. I have a friend from high school that had a son that was born that way. I have another friend that had a son that was born with a lung outside of his body.
Well,
both of those children,
talking the deformities or of
both of those children, have graduated from high school and are having full lives. So the medical, whatever. Go ahead.
No, I mean I'm all for life. I mean it's always a toss up. I mean, if you're raped or something, I mean that's a little, it's touchy, but. I mean, I'm not a woman, so I don't have a horse in the game.
I don't think it's.
It's not my body. I mean, it's not my body. So
it's a human life.
It is, and I mean, I'm not for killing them, but it's just one of those. That's a tough subject, man. That's one of those tough subjects where
I don't think it should be tough though. Because I think it is black and white. It's black and white. It's a human life. It says in the Bible that you're not supposed to kill a life inside the womb.
Mm. That's why they have precautions. That's why people have the pill and condoms and other kinds of birth control. So
you make choices in life and you suffer the consequences of those choices.
Yeah, but I mean, cases of rape or incest, you didn't make that choice. I mean, that choice was made for you. So, I mean, again, it's a tough subject.
I would think that in a case of rape or something like that, you could give it up for adoption. There's so many families out there that can't have kids that want kids. But I know that the adoption agencies, I know that's all hinky too, and they sell them into fucking child slavery and blah, blah, blah. I know.
And Angelina Jolie will probably take them.
yeah.
Oh,
she'll take anybody's kid, country. Even if they don't want them taken.
Yeah, they have to come from another country for that, though.
Yeah, got to go down to Cambodia and have birth for that one. All right, David, let's get your take on the whole thing.
On abortion?
Yeah.
Well, on the particular one that's up in the news right now.
Yeah, the 40 weeks.
I don't really know. I've been paying attention to it, so I really can't say much. I've heard a little of this and that, but not enough to form an opinion on it.
What's your personal belief on abortion? Are you for it or against it?
Well, that's the way I see abortion. This is just me. I think that if there was incest involved, you should have the right to be able to have an abortion. I think if the doctor comes straight out and tells you this kid's going to die, so the minute he's born, or you're going to die the minute you have it, maybe abortion should be considered. I think if you were raped walking down the street by someone that you weren't in love with, that you had no affection for whatsoever, you should be able to have an abortion. And other than that, you should be able to have it. But I mean, those things like that. I mean, what right do I got to tell a woman to have a kid that got raped by some black guy going down the street in a fucking alley somewhere? I mean,
or an immigrant.
Or an immigrant. I mean, to me, a girl should have the choice. It's like, hey, this guy stuck his dick in me without me giving him permission. I didn't know who the fuck he is. Why should I be? And I can't afford to have a kid.
Right.
Why should I have this kid? It's to me, it's just stuff like that, common sense stuff. Or if your dad rapes you, but you don't want to have your dad's kid. Come on now.
Well, no, because in there, I think when you have families have babies, don't the kids come out? When
sometimes
cousins and right. So, why would you want to have that kid and then put it up for adoption?
The genetic loop is closed too tightly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just.
If the girl's going to have a kid and she's got some kind of weird thing going on, and they tell her, you have this kid, there's about a 90% chance you're going to die. You know, I'm sorry, that kid would have to go. If I was the girl, I'd be like, you know, it is what it is, you know. I tried, and if I'm going to die, you know, what good's a kid without its mother?
And then that person can go adopt.
You know, I mean, you look at all the orphanages in this country, and there ain't as many as there used to be, because now they stick these kids in abusive homes and everything else just to make it look like every kid's got a home, you know.
A lot of foster care.
Right.
Yeah, I've known plenty of
that's
guys growing up that were put into foster care that were sexually abused, that were beat up, that were in it. I've had someone say, I wish I wasn't even born because of the shit I've had to go through.
Yep.
Yeah, that's horrible. Foster care and the adoption agencies and shit are just as bad.
Well, there's good parents out there that adopt kids, and there's great foster families out there. I mean, there are, so you can't say that they're all bad.
No, there's some good ones, but you know, you're rolling the dice when you're a foster child of what you're going to get.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
You know, there's some kids that have been adopted by these foster families that were used as sex slaves.
Yep.
Isn't there I think it's over in England right now, a guy suing his parents for having him born without his permission? I'm not making this shit up.
I think I saw that headline
swear
too.
To God, I'm not making this shit up. I just read it the other day.
I think I saw that headline too. It's in the Daily Mail or something like that.
For giving birth to him without his permission. And he's got a shitty life or something like that. I don't know what it is. Because I couldn't even read the whole article. I was just shaking my head too much.
Joseph, you know, maybe if more people would like abortion, we wouldn't have the Kardashians around.
Well, there's a lot of poster childs for abortion walking around right now, that's for sure.
Joseph Hawley says the logical reasons for abortion come up to 7%. The rest of the reasons to abort are selfish or just excuses.
I agree with that.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I can agree.
And I'm gonna stand right here and I'm gonna say it's nothing that I would do personally. It's not a choice that I would make personally.
Fortunately, it's a choice you'll never have to make.
Correct, unless I'm involved in another person's situation or whatever. But there are extenuating circumstances.
And then what about this, guys?
The way that I reason it out, there's extenuating circumstances, but it's not for me. It's not a choice.
What happens if you're a kid and all of a sudden two gay guys decide they want to adopt you? Or if you're a girl and two lesbians want to adopt you out, you know, the shit you're going to take in school growing up. And
in today's society, though, they'd probably
acceptable.
Yeah, in today's society, they're going to hug them. And
actually, I don't even think it raises an eyebrow now. Actually, I mean,
I'm just saying, the kid wise, how's the kid feel?
I mean, they've kind of done studies that those kids come out just as, if not better, because there's a lot of love. Not that there's not bad homes with gay people, but they seem to be happier people as a whole, especially when they get kids.
And you got couples out there now where the woman's self-identifying as a man and the man's self-identifying as a woman, but they still get together and have a kid. And fuck, man.
But you and that's a whole nother thing that just bugs me is you can't identify as something else. You just can't.
There's two sexes. There's no such thing as gender. Gender is a made-up word that the humans made up. There are two sexes. There's male and female. You're either genetically a man or you're genetically a woman. I don't give a shit if you get your winky cut off and tucked up inside you and add a set of boobs or whatever. If I draw your fucking blood and run your DNA, you're coming back a man.
Well, I'm identifying as a black male bisexual lesbian now. From now on, that's how I'm going to identify myself because that's how absurd it is. Yeah. And then on Wednesdays, I'm going to be a unicorn that's non-binary.
Right.
So, I mean, that because I can. I mean, no, you can't, motherfucker. You can't. Yeah, I can't identify as black. So how can you identify as something that you're not? You can't. You can't. you just can't.
You can't.
I just don't get it. How this is such a phenomenon because you can't. You're not.
What about the whole transgender thing? Talk to me about that. Have you
Well, it's
seen
the same thing.
these transgender kids that are walking the runways and getting dollars tucked in their fucking shorts? This amazing
Hey, man,
Jonathan
if
or
you're
whatever the
fully
fuck is.
committed and you go through gender reassignment
No,
surgery and
no,
everything
no, no, no,
else,
no. These are little 10-year-old, 12-year-old kids that they're pushing on the public. They're called the drag kids or whatever, the drag boys. This fucking shit is so off the hook, man. I don't know.
yeah, Babylon's going. How come these people aren't burned up yet?
It's coming. I'm believing that's coming.
Yeah,
Pretty
probably
fucking quick.
But I mean, I just can't believe how far from reality we've come, or have gone away from reality as a society. I just can't believe it, man. It's more incredulous every single day. Something new pops up, and you're just like, holy shit, man! I can't believe this.
And since you and I, Lance, have been doing a show together, which is well over 10 years now, we've been saying it's upside down. There's something wrong. It's upside down. Everything that's supposed to be wrong is now considered right.
It's really unreal.
It's only gotten worse over the decade plus.
And I mean, I got one of those kids. I mean, my daughter's 22, 23 or something. And dude, these kids are so detached from reality because they're stuck in their iPhones. I mean, it's all about holding your phone up and getting the best selfie angle.
She's like that?
Dude, I just...
Your girl's like that?
So far detached from reality.
Your daughter's like that?
Exactly like that.
Oh,
she
no,
is,
dude. Wake her up,
she's going to be part of the problem.
Wake her up. Wake her up.
I can't. I can't. I've tried. And this social media, all the teenage millennial things just suck them in, man, and warps their minds. I just can't wrap my head around it. Delusional. I mean, almost every single one of these kids I talk to are friends and everything else. Their take on reality is just not there.
What a fucking shame, dude.
It's awful. I mean, it's awful.
Do you see any of that in your kids, David?
Oh yeah, my youngest son, my one in 10th grade, he can't go anywhere without his phone.
Really?
Yeah, it's all about Snapchat.
Yep.
And I mean, every time I look over, she's taking a picture of something or taking a video of something, and I'm like, "The fuck are you doing?" Oh, Snapchat. I'm like, God, man, these kids are in it so deep. I don't.
Fuck.
It's awful. None of them are on Facebook anymore, though.
No, that's what my 10th grader says. The Facebook's for old people.
Yeah, none of them are on Facebook anymore, though.
It's like Yahoo, right?
Shit.
Facebook's the new Yahoo.
Yep, pretty much. It's the new,
Facebook is the new MySpace.
Or MySpace, yeah. Well, I never was. I was on MySpace. I had a page on there, but I never was on it. I was on Yahoo. I was in Yahoo Chat.
Basically,
I started it, and then a month later, Facebook became popular, so I switched over.
Basically, if you're like a little over 25, you're on Facebook.
J-Rod says narcissistic. He's calling that generation narcissistic. And
hey, man, it's been 8 years since I gave up my Facebook account.
8
years, baby.
8 years, dude? No way.
Can you believe it? I got rid of it in 2011.
No way, dude, because I was down here. You were still on Facebook when I moved here. That was 6 years ago.
Okay, well, then it was 12 then. It was like
no, it was 13. Then. 13, because I moved here in 13.
Okay, well, then I got off it right after that. It felt
it was 5 years. Like, you've been gone 5 years.
6 years. 6 years.
Yeah, whatever. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Facebook. I don't even bring a computer home anymore.
I haven't
brought a computer home in over 2 years.
I've been saving every fucking cat meme I can find, dude. When you come over, I'm going to print them all up.
Awesome.
Give them to you in a big ass roll.
Yeah, awesome. But I'm detached from it, man. I don't let it just consume me anymore. I just take care of doing my own thing,
Well, good.
and not hang out on the computer anymore. I removed all my games from my phone, my Clash of Clans, and all that other stuff.
I never
got
got
rid of
into
all
that
that
shit.
shit over
I
a
never
year
got into
ago.
that shit. I quit playing like Xbox and all that. I used to be on the Xbox. I quit all that back in
Oh no, I play my
2000, 99 or
PlayStation
2000.
4 still all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm not a gamer at all.
I was just playing last night, so no, I buy the new games when they come out, play them and beat them, shelve them until the next one comes out. I want to play.
Dawn says, I wonder what it's going to be like for politicians in 30 years with all the dirt kids are putting online. That's pretty funny. Yeah, because once it's out on the interwebs, it ain't going anywhere. It ain't going anywhere. Some jerk off will find it 25 years from now and fucking throw it in your face.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I'd like to. Never mind. All the memes of I'm so glad I grew up riding a bike and not messing on an iPhone, or where we were
when the
greatest
street lights
generation
came on, it was time to go home,
right?
And stuff like that. Yeah,
this is how you knew where your friends were. All the bikes are in the front lawn of the house, and that kind of shit.
Oh, I mean, I was trying to think back to 1997, or no, wait a minute, 1998 when I got my real first cell phone, and I'm like, how did I make it? I mean, how did I talk to people? How did I coordinate things when you only had a home phone? I mean, think about it.
Oh yeah,
you didn't have internet. You didn't have, and I'm just like, I can't even remember it right now.
You remember when you were a kid, the one phone in the kitchen that had like the 60-foot cord on it, so you could go around the corner into the closet and close the door and talk to Yep. It was all that shit. Our lives are a meme now. Our lives growing up are a meme. That's how old we are. Doesn't even ring as true to me for some reason. I feel like I'm living in a dream. It's kind of unnerving, actually. I giggle at that, but it's the seriousness of it makes me giggle, because I want you people to just stop for 2 seconds and think of just how far down the shitter this country has gone in our 50 years, because most of you are just at my age, and I'm 50. In 50 years, think back from the time you were a kid until now, just how bad it's gotten in this country. And then everybody shake your heads and say a prayer. Fucking mercy on this country and what's going on right now. Unfucking believable.
Pretty much everywhere. It's not just here, but yeah, everywhere.
Well, the only reason that it's everywhere is because for the last 50 years, this country's been pushing their shit on everybody around the world. Nike tennis shoes, fucking T-shirts, whatever, Hollywood garbage, whatever. We've been pushing our lifestyle on everybody. And that's why the fucking nastiness is everywhere now.
Infidels.
Something like that, yeah. Oh, shit. Saint said, I feel so blessed that my childhood was in the 60s. Yeah, me too. Actually, I would have felt even better if it was the 1860s, because I think that's about the time that I was supposed to have been around, because I don't take shit from anybody. And, yeah. So, I think we were off by 100 years. I was off by 100 years, but that's okay.
Hey, you probably were around 100 years ago, just in a different container. Maybe so. And it might go back to the whole cowboys and Indians type of shit here shortly too. So there's that. Might live to see it again, because everything's a circle. Everything's a cycle.
Okay. John says everything's the same. It's the same in the UK. We're being invaded by snowflakes and the gender agender. The gender agender.
Speaking of your cowboy theory,
Yeah.
the Super Bowl commercials.
I didn't watch any yet.
So the halftime show has always been, from previous ones at least, just a huge Illuminati.
Oh, yeah.
Not, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a huge celebration of Illuminati, all the symbolisms and everything else. And I couldn't find a whole lot of them in this one, and I'm sure there were. There were flames, a lot of flames, and, I'm sure some of that guy's tattoos had some other stuff on it, but it wasn't as overt as some of the other ones.
Those tattoos weren't at all real. That was all just airbrushed ink. And okay.
I don't know, but the some of the commercials showed blackouts, I can't remember if it was a meteor coming down or one of them, but there were a couple of them that showed blackouts, attacks to the power grid or,
Be right
or
back.
whatever.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Oh, okay.
Come on, hurry up. I'm on the show. Come on. Oh, shit, I think it's thunder. Oh, give me that. All right, go ahead.
So, some of them conspiracy, not overly conspiracy, but the ones that talk about that stuff on Twitter. I was reading some articles and stuff on it that there were the blackout stuff, or maybe it was even Prepper Chick that posted it. I can't remember, but she had posted one that I read because she posts some or likes some relevant stuff quite often. Mm-hmm. And but there were there was like 2 or 3 of them that hinted at blackouts or the power grid going down or something like that. So
yeah,
it's part of that foreshadowing. Maybe, I don't know.
And then you had Rachel Madcow on CNN talking about how the Russians could shut off the power to the north and freeze David out.
She's on MSNBC, isn't she?
Whatever. What'd I say?
CNN.
Whatever. Same
don't
shit.
Don't be lowering CNN standards to have Rachel Madcow.
Oh yeah, from Wolf Blitzer to fucking Rachel Madcow isn't that far of a stretch, man.
I think she's a lesbian.
Oh, she is. Yeah, definitely. She's outward. It's not even closet.
She's a disgusting excuse
she's
for a
proud
man.
of it.
She is just a disgusting excuse for a man.
I'd like to see her and Ellen get it on.
So is the Lawrence O'Donnell guy on right after.
You know what? I got to tell you this too. I don't know why this just struck me, but I used to watch Ellen doing her stand-up and shit back in the day when she was on Carson.
She's
whatever.
still hilarious.
She was funny as fuck, and I don't know if she's funny anymore or not because I don't listen to her at all. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I've noticed in just seeing little blurbs and ads and stuff on TV, she's gotten so mannish since she came out of the closet. Her face is even, you know what I mean? It's
You know what cracks me up about that show, though? She's gay, obviously. Everybody knows it. But she has all these quote-unquote hunks come on her show and take off their shirts and everything else. And I'm like, what? You're gay. What are you doing it?
She's
doing it for the ratings, but obviously. But
well,
she probably strikes me as, smart.
She probably goes both ways, too. I'm just saying.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Those Hollywood types.
She's married, isn't she?
To Portia. Yeah, her wife's name is Portia.
Yeah.
And she calls her wife, so obviously Ellen's the man of the family.
No, the other one calls her wife too. So.
Oh really? Oh, well.
Yeah, they call each other the wife.
That's very LGBTQ of them.
Well, it's interesting because one of my best friends, she's gay, and her girlfriend or whatever they are, it's not quite. I can't remember. Yeah, it is legal here now, But and they come over all the time.
I can't remember if it's it is legal.
Yeah, it is legal. They passed it last year. But it's funny because she's the feminine one in the relationship, and her girlfriend is the more masculine one. And they're both great girls. I mean, I like them because they come over here all the time. We get high, drink it. But we've had the conversation about, or they have, and I've had it with Betsy, about getting married if they get married. You know, I said, well, are you both going to wear dresses? Who's going to wear the tuxedo? I was asking for real. I didn't know. And she goes, we've had that same argument because both of them want to wear dresses, but then, they feel that one of them ought to be wearing a suit. Then the other one goes, well, I want to wear a dress. Well,
no, they've got the cake toppers with 2 girls and 2 guys.
And like, that's just a funny conversation that gay people would have to have.
So let's flip a
Who's
coin.
Gonna wear what at a wedding? Yeah. A man and a woman. You don't question it.
Who gets the bow tie or who gets the veil?
Woman's wearing a dress.
Yep. Heads, it's a dress. Tails, it's a tie.
Well, and then a gay man relationship, I don't think there's much discussion there. One of them's not going to show up in a dress.
Well, you never know. He might be a feminine flamer, right?
The gay weddings I've seen, they're both wearing a suit.
But what about one of them's a cross-dresser?
Well, maybe. But the ones that I've seen on TV or videos or something of gay women weddings, generally, one of them's always wearing a suit.
Right.
So it was funny because neither one of them want to wear a suit.
Yeah,
it just kind of struck me as funny.
Hey, man, if they both go with a wedding dress, do you know how expensive that fucking shit's going to be? Because the guys always just rent a tux, man, and tuxes are cheap.
Oh, right? Man, you get a dress for, I never told you that
shit,
story.
Some of them things are $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000 fucking dollars.
My friend got this dress from eBay, and it came from China.
eBay?
And I'm telling you, it looked like a $5,000 dress, and it was $350. And I told her, I said, I hope when you're walking down the aisle, you think of that little 9-year-old girl with no thumbs that made that dress.
Stitching that fucker up.
The needles took her thumbs off. I said, I hope you think about her walking down the aisle.
Just twist the knife as you put it in, Lance. Just twist it on her favorite day. Sucker.
And then when she was walking down the aisle, she looked over at me and I held up my thumb.
It's a wonder you didn't get slapped upside the head, dude.
Hey, man, I got good friends. They understand my sense of humor.
Yeah. Do we have to invite Lance? Yes, we have to invite Lance. We've known him forever. I know he's going to be a dick, but just put up with it for a minute. It's a
conversation that has ensued a couple times before I was invited somewhere. I can tell you that.
Oh, Tracy, that's TMI, brother. That is just TMI, dude. Keep that shit to yourself. I just got a text from my brother Trace. I can't
see your web chat, so I
no, that was a text from my brother Trace. He just sent me and it popped up on my screen. And dude, that's TMI, man. I didn't need to know that. That's just. I'm gonna go vomit a little bit. Hang on, I'll be right back. You're a disgusting man, Tracy.
What did he send you?
No, I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh
no.
Well, you can't. That's not cool to say something.
He said that he was sitting in his house watching my show naked.
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm naked right now too.
I'm naked.
That's
right
just
now, too.
TMI, man.
Yeah, I'm naked right now too. I was on the shitter a little while ago too. I muted it while I flushed though.
I'm almost out of lotion.
The show just fucking. Well, it's a good thing I'm not monetized. I'll just tell you that. It's a good thing. Fuck. Off the rails it goes. And look, Prepper Chicks isn't even here, man. Lori's not even here. Usually it takes Lori to get the show this far off the fucking rails. Or Charlie. Charlie's not here either. By the way, everybody, since he didn't make it tonight, I told him that we were all going to talk tall shit about him. So if anybody's got a rude comment or something to make about Charlie, now would be the good time to do it because I told him that it would be entered into the show. So if anybody wants to talk tall shit, if you guys in chat want to talk shit about Charlie, just type it in chat and put it in bold type, and then I'll read it to him.
I don't like talking shit about people.
Bullshit. You talk shit about me every fucking day.
Just on the show to you. But so.
No, I'm sure you talk shit about me to your friends every fucking day.
No.
There's this cat I know over in Arkansas. He's just, oh my God, man.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. If you don't, you should, because I talk shit about you all the time.
Oh, you can. It's all right. I'm used to it. People at work do it anyways.
How's work going, by the way?
Oh man, I can't even express to you how much it's busy, fun. They're overpaying me. I can't complain.
That's excellent. Send some my way.
File your income taxes.
Yeah, the weekly charge for being your friend is now $500.
Yeah, right. No, I owe taxes, so I won't be filing until April 15th.
And then filing for the extension at that time.
But I mean, you file for an extension, but you still got to send in your payment. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well file.
Right.
So, fuck them.
Hopefully the government will have collapsed by then and nobody will have to file their taxes and everything will be hunky-dory.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you people don't know by now, taxation is theft.
Well, I had I probably shouldn't even say it because I'm sure they're listening, but I had an IRS tax bill last year that, it was like $2,500, and they kept sending the bill, pay this now. I just kept throwing it in the trash. They sent certified letters, and I wouldn't sign for them. So,
I sorry, no one here by that name.
I said, hey, I never got them, man. I'm not signing for that shit. Sorry. Return to sender.
Right. Until the FBI agent knocks at your door.
I'm sure they'll tack it onto this year's bill, too, because, I'll probably settle up with them this year, but I'm surprised they hadn't come got me.
Yeah. And I'm not any kind of financial advisor or anything like that, but if you would like to know of various and sundry ways to not file federal taxes, there's all kinds of shit that you can find online. Just type it into your search bar of choice.
Yeah. I agree.
So we got like 15 minutes left of the show. What do you guys want to chat about now? Let's see. Charlie, here's one for you, buddy. This is from Saint in chat. Charlie, I sent you a message to be here or be queer. Yeah, he ain't here, so.
So what do you think about that big military exercise going down in L.A. right now?
There was a couple of things. I saw a big like C-141 star lifter or something like that was zooming by buildings I think it was in Philadelphia or somewhere on the East Coast. Just like a week ago.
You think they're practicing for Venezuela or something?
So.
Well, who knows? They could be practicing for us, but
that was helicopters in L.A., wasn't it?
Yeah, but the deal is it's still going on. I think it's the last of it tonight. It's been going on for like 4 nights, and the deal is that they're working directly with the LAPD.
They did this in Atlanta last year. They did it in Chicago last year. I think they did it in Dallas. Yeah. So they're prepping for the collapse of the country and how they're going to take over the major population centers.
That's what I think.
I think they'd be wise to just vacate them and let them. The large cities like that, they'd be best to just let them fend for themselves.
They'll do what I predicted a long time ago. I don't know how long ago it's been, but the way that the military is moving to pilotless technology, drone technology, they'll just ring the cities with drones and nobody will get out. Nobody will get out.
Yeah, put a big
It'll
wall
be
around it, like Escape from New York.
Yep.
Snake Plissken.
Yep, exactly. It'll be like Terminator. Then they'll just go through and fucking eliminate the population that they want to eliminate. Right?
Well, DARPA's already got Terminator robots.
Oh, yeah. All the shit that you see on television of the fuckers falling over and trying to make it through obstacle courses, and their robots are 10 fucking years farther advanced than that. They just don't show it.
More than 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
And now they got the troops on the border. That way, if you do make it out of L.A., you ain't going to make it across the border.
Right.
I heard the governor or whoever it was of South Carolina pulled all her National Guard that had been called to the border.
Arizona.
She called them all back to South Dakota or wherever it was.
I thought it was Arizona.
I thought it was up north.
Was it up?
Maybe
it was South Dakota.
The story wrong.
Yeah, maybe it was South Dakota because I think I was going to send David a thing that said, "Hey, you're getting troops back," but he's in North Dakota.
I thought they said South Dakota on the radio.
Yeah. Female governor.
Yep.
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 She pulled her National Guard troops back, and then in turn, they're just sending active duty troops down
Right.
because the governor can't recall them.
And everybody out there that's pro-wall, you just have to remember that wall works both ways.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're coming to talking about the collapse of this country, that wall works both ways. So, just saying. Oh, let's see.
I'm for a wall being built around Washington, D.C. and keep all them son of bitches locked up and let them starve.
Let's see. David Howard said, just research Title 15. David Howard says, just research Title 15. Somebody type that. One of you two type that into your search bar. David?
I don't have a computer at home.
Okay. David, Title 15. What the fuck is Title 15? Yeah, what is that, David? Give us a heads up, man.
I know what Title 9 is. I don't know what Title 15 is.
Title 15 here looks like California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Or then they got another Title 15 U.S. Code, Title 15 Commerce and Trade.
Commerce and Trade, I'll bet that's what it's reference to.
There's another Title 15, the Code of Federal Regulations.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Commerce and Foreign Trade. There's all kinds of Title 15s.
Oh, okay, David, you're going to have to get more specific. Not you, David. The other David. David Howard from chat. He just typed no. So evidently we're on the wrong track. He'll explain it here in just a second. So you got 10 minutes, David, to get your point across, and then we're out of time. But in that 10 minutes, any top breaking headlines or anything like that over there, David? Pretty sure you don't want to go into the weather or sports or anything. So
I'll go back to Venezuela here. Mike Pompeo was just on Fox Business. Did an interview.
Why the fuck is Pompeo on Fox Business?
He's all over Fox.
Oh my God, man!
But this is what he said. He said Cuban, Hezbollah, and Iranian cells drawn to embattle Venezuela.
Imagine that.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo tells Fox News Trish Reagan that the crisis in Venezuela raises the risk of turning the Latin American country into a no man's land, with bad actors from Cuba, Hezbollah, and Iran influencing the region. People don't recognize that Hezbollah is active cells. The Iranians are impacting the people of Venezuela and throughout South America, he said Wednesday. We have an obligation to take down that risk for America. And basically now he's saying, well, if humanitarian intervention don't work, then we're going in there in the interest of America to take out Hezbollah and Iran out of Venezuela. We got our reasonings lined up, ready to go.
Yeah. Okay.
And Hezbollah is in Venezuela. I've known that since 2000 when I started this journey of mine. And they dig a lot of tunnels for the gold and everything else. Iran has a small base set up there. There was once a question that there was a rumor around they had an Iranian missile base. There were missiles that were able to hit Florida. And that's been back and forth, debunked, not debunked. So I don't know exactly how that sets, but that's always been a thing that Iran had a missile base in Venezuela. But Iran does have influence down there. Hezbollah does have influence down there. So I'm not going to call Pompeo a liar on this. Now, how much influence they have, I don't know. But they are down there. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Hezbollah's branched out all over the world.
So is the U.S.
They're even in America. And you know what they're into in America? Into the black market cigarette trade.
David Howard says, Title 15, Chapter 41, subsection 5, or sub V, section 1692. This is what I did to stop the IRS.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, David. Nice of you to drop that for everybody in chat. I appreciate that very much. So if you guys didn't catch it, I'll say it one more time for anybody that's just out there listening that doesn't have it on their screen. Title 15, Chapter 41, Sub V, Section 1692. There you go.
Is that the part where it says taxes are supposed to be done off of profit and not wages? Because I remember when it was first started, the only people you could tax were business owners because the tax was on the profit, and wages are not profit.
Right. There's also, I mean, back in the 50s, there was the property tax was initiated across the United States to help fund World War II, pay off the debt from World War II. And once that debt was paid off, property taxes were supposed to stop, and they never have. So, it's just once you let them, give an inch, take a mile, right? That's what it's been the whole time. The United States government was never, ever supposed to be this ginormous, man. This country was started by people that were sick of big fucking government. Look at us now. Really? Really?
That's why they dumped the tea in the harbor.
Well, it goes way deeper than that. But
they want to pay taxes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's way deeper than a tea tax. But that was.
Well, I'm just saying.
That's how it kicked off. That's what made the headlines of the day. Yeah, was all the tea going into the harbor. It was the revolt, man. It wasn't about the fucking tax. It was the fact that they were trying to exert authority.
They took our guns.
Tried to.
That's why it started. They were trying to take our guns.
Yep. 3%, man. 3%. John says it's got nothing to do with Russia having a base in Venezuela capable of housing nuclear bombers.
They don't have that base yet.
Yeah, they don't have that base yet that we know of.
Maduro offered them to build them one there, but I think that's definitely what crossed one of our red lines when Russia flew those 2 nuclear bombers down there.
Yeah.
That was too close to comfort for us.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, China's got a shit ton of money invested in that fucking country, and they're not just going to walk away from all their investment. They're not just going to walk away from all that debt. So
I'm sure behind the scenes we're trying to convince them with this, that they'll get their money if they let Maduro go. I'm sure we're trying to convince
How the hell are we going to? They own how much of our fucking debt, man? $3 trillion almost? What? They've been dumping their fucking securities forever trying to get rid of that debt. They've been going over to Australia and buying mines with it, and all the shit that's going on in Venezuela, that's all cashed in fucking U.S. bonds. Everybody's trying to get away from the U.S. That's all we are is debt. That's all we are. Print fucking money willy-nilly, spend money like fucking drunken sailors. It's over for this country, man. It's over. It's going to take probably another 3 years maybe before we hit rock fucking bottom. But I guarantee you between now and summer, there is going to be a major financial hiccup in this fucking country. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know what kind of trigger is going to get pulled. But you watch. Banks are going to lock up. People's credit's going to stop for a minute. Everything's going to take a fucking break for a second. I don't know how long it's going to last. But by the time it gets all done shaken out, things aren't going to be the same in this country again. So prepare yourselves for that, people. I promise you it's coming before summer. The stock market is showing every fucking sign that it's gonna take a major hit. You look at the thing that happened with the fucking Bitcoin dude dying, and he was the only guy that had the keys to all of his fucking shit, and everybody's lost all their... Wow, what the... I'm just telling you, you can't trust anything except yourself. You better get some guns and ammunition. You better get some seeds. You better get some knowledge on how to grow your own food. You better get some security in your financial, organizational selves. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. I'm just telling you what I'd do if I were you. Precious metals is where it's at. Cash is going to be worthless as fuck. And I don't trust Bitcoin. I never have. I got to be honest with you. I wish that Lance and I would have bought a couple back when they were $100. We talked about doing it, but we never pulled the trigger on it. I wished I'd have done it. But I don't trust them. I still don't trust them. I'll never put money into them now that I know what I know. how quickly it can just all be fucking lost. So, anyway, we got like a minute left. Anything you want to say, David, Lance? No?
Oh, this just came out that's pretty big that just came across. It says, Luis Rivera, Secretary of State of Puerto Rico, has confirmed to CNN that aircraft were sent with humanitarian aid. They managed to circumvent the security of Nicolas Maduro and landed on Venezuelan soil. He said they will continue to chart new strategies to address the situation. They're saying they were able to sneak a plane in full of aid without Maduro knowing.
I don't. Come on, man. You really believe that?
I don't know. I don't know what to believe. Just saying what they're saying here. This is what the Secretary of State of Puerto Rico is saying.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, I do know that Maduro has the S-300 system, updated S-300 system. He has the Buke system, same one that brought down that commercial airliner in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know how they would get around the S-300. I'm sure there's so much, like I said, only Caracas is really protected. Everything else is either mountainous or jungle. So they could have easily landed in the drug jungle with with drug gangs fucking using
airstrip.
You never know.
Yeah,
airstrip
small
out in the middle
plane.
of the jungle
Or helicopters.
I'm sure that's a good option.
Yeah, I mean, if you can stay close to the terrain, within 500 feet of the top of the trees, radar's not going to pick you up anyway, unless they got ground sweep radar. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I can see ways that they can do that. Real quick, Joseph Holly in the chat said, age of signers of the Declaration of Independence was 18 to 33 years old. Today, 18 to 30-year-olds can't even operate a gun, let alone lead a revolt. I think that's a pretty good way to end the show. Because it's the truth. It's the truth. The soy boy shit that's happened to this country is just pathetic. Fucking pathetic. Lance, your phone sounds great. Maybe work on the earbud thing, see if you can find a better quality set.
That facial recognition technology works like a champ, too.
Yeah, it makes you look like a pile of poop really good. And the whole mouth following you.
I love the hand emojis.
All right. Charlie, if you're listening, next week, brother. Next week. Well, I don't know. He said they're doing this crap for like 90 days. So I don't know if he's going to be back for a while. We'll see. David, as always, your headlines are top of the mark. Love talking to you guys on a weekly basis. We'll see if we can get it done again next week.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to hang up on you two and play us out.
Have a good one.
See you
Peace
guys.
and love.
All right, everybody. Got that out of the way. We'll see if we can do this again next week. I don't know. It's going to be kind of hit and miss until I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'll try to keep it going, though, because I like talking to y'all. I don't know why I do. I just do. So, with that being said, I don't know if I did this last week or not. Love, peace, and cookies, everybody. I'm out.